stress, not a scrap. If you wanna come with me, then this is your calling. With or without you, it's on holler back. Full tank in a bag full of Queen's heads, green meds, pack lunch tea from the leaf stems. Gotta lead by example to free them peeps, them slaving to pray for the weekend. Our only purpose is tend to the gardens. Upon Babylon, I won't beg for your pardon. Life's too precious not to live for a purpose. Only limit is the one you won't step to regardless. Every corner we turn is a new road. I know kings that came from the group home. Bun barriers, you can search for the loophole. First take your head from the new stove, you'll grow.
And where I'll be, and where I'm from, I'm on my feet, I travel on. And where I'll be, and where I'm from, I'm on my feet, I travel on. And where I'll be, and where I'm from, I'm on my feet, I travel on. And where I'll be, and where I'm from, I'm on my feet, I travel on.
Tell us about what's got you involved. What is your inspiration for doing this, and why you think it's important for people to be doing what you're doing, and what are you doing?
Yeah, cool. So yeah, Che Godfrey here from Crops Nut Shops. Crops Nut Shops is a grassroots movement that's really trying to empower people to get back to nature and growing their own food. You know, creating community support networks, self-reliance, self-resilience. You know, land regeneration, and really connecting people back to people. You know, as a way to share what we're trying to create for a new earth. You know, for our children's children. Crops Nut Shop started 2 years ago. I started this military mission, you know, this movement about 10 years ago. I just was taking over lots of bits of land and just planting loads of food and you know, creating wildlife gardens with co-founder of Crops, my friend Liam King. We opened alternative school provisions for children, and I've just been on this, like, you know, should I say, this missionary mission for a long time, bro. But we're actually in Glastonbury now. We're on a 22-acre site that we're regenerating. I don't know if you want to show the circle of the site with everyone working. Yeah, we've created a market garden. This is going to be regenerative, quite intensive regenerative agriculture.
I'm just showing this.
Yeah. So people are craving connection, you know, something's changing, something's shifted on the earth consciously. The consciousness is saying to us now, let's get together, you know, let's work the earth together, let's live how our ancestors lived, in a caring, sharing, natural, fair, peaceful way, you know. It's about just creating love on the earth, man. It's a vibration, it's a frequency that we're trying to tap into. You know, it's challenging, living in community, being with people all the time. There's a lot of things that arise within ourselves. But I find that being out in nature, you only have yourself to answer to, you know. So it's a lot of this, you know, release of build-up of lineages and, you know, all this stuff that our ancestors have gone through. We said Babylon has conquered the people for too long, but we're rising up now and we're taking back the liberty and life. And
Gone down Babylon.
Well, it's already done, you know, from the inside. We know that it's already done. There's just like a little bit of birthing pain that the world's going through right now as a transition from that world to this one. No one knows what it's going to look like, but we have a vision and we have an idea and we have a collective idea now. And, you know, all these beautiful people love what we're doing, and I love what we're doing, and yeah, we're just going to keep it moving, you know. So we're going to take back all the lands gifted by the landowners. Should we take back? It's not ours anyway, but we're going to work the lands together and create this massive global free food sharing network that encompasses food, energy, medicine, education and housing in a regenerative, natural way that impacts us and, you know, our children for the future.
And this is what drew me towards you. As soon as I saw a photograph of you guys with the crops and it said I would rather be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in a war.
Yes, sir.
And this is where we're at, isn't it? Because there's physically as warriors in the street, there's only so much you can do. With this, we're taking full autonomy back, like you said. So it's free food, free housing, free energy.
Free medicine, free education.
What do we need to participate in that for then?
No, we don't. I mean, we're in it, you know, our families are in it, we don't need to participate in it, but it's not about just running away from it, it's actually about merging of the two worlds to go, you know what, we can empower everyone to be like this. So we're actually on a mission to transform people's gardens, people who, you know, not used to any of this kind of living, you know, community, no one really knows how to live in community, we're just trying to remember and relearn it by communication and, you know, open transparency with everything we do. And right from the, you know, right from the get-go, everything, financial, spiritual, emotional, physical, everything is shared, and it's a collection, it's a collective share with us all. We come together every morning at 9:30 and we gather and we give thanks to the earth and we say like why we're here and, you know, our morning task, and we eat together every day at 5 o'clock. It's the two main, I think we've all agreed, it's the two main things that keeps this community so strong. And, you know, it's beautiful, you know, it's no thing other than just a natural liberty, you know. Yeah.
How can people get hold of you if they want to get involved?
Through the telepathy. on the heart space, man. But we have socials and we have a website, Crops Not Shops, Dig for Victory. Yeah, I'm wanted elsewhere, so I'm gonna have to go out there. Yeah. But we'll do some more interviews, man. Thank you, my bro. Bless up, man. Yeah.
Tell me, is it possible at all? We got each other's back, and if we fall, we pick each other straight up from the floor. You and me is we, if we are gonna beat them all. I ain't playing chess, won't be no pawn. No statistic, check the mystics, crystal ball. I see the people hear me when I call. You and me is we, if we are gonna win this war.
You're aiming at the wrong motherfuckers. Look round. Your brothers, what the guam motherfuckers. What now? Who's got you chopping raw motherfuckers? Oh, how? Same ones that wrote the law motherfuckers. Slow down. Who profits when you stuck up in a 6x8? Damn. Who's really feasting? Who's the dog about to lick the plate? Who is free? Who's on a leash? Who lick a dick a day? Damn. And who gets caught up in the crossfire? Ricochet. Rest in peace, misguided soldiers. Many man telling man life is hopeless. Belly of the beast inside the soulless. Media play man like controllers, crying over that pussy. See man dying over that money. For real, man's life is over. What's funny? If man's mind was focused on loving.
So it's all about kind of.
Well,
Look at me while I go.
yeah. Oh, we're putting in a polytunnel. This is Jacob. Jacob, say hello.
He's my movie star dog.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I'm here with PK, digging trenches.
Digging trenches, hands in Gaia.
Yeah, and we're talking spirituality, and currently I thought let's get the camera out because we're talking about AI terribly mimicking the spirituality and of human beings living this life.
How I see it is that our sport, these vessels that we've chosen are our spacesuits, and we are learning to drive these spacesuits. The only way we can truly learn is by listening to them without any other outside influence, because we've lived in a world, when we talk about health, what is our health information but everything outside of us? We're going, oh, that's meant to be good for me, I better do that. But you know, once you start listening, I realise now that I don't know how to drive your spacesuit. I don't know how to drive your spacesuit. I'm learning how to drive mine, understanding that I'm doing handstands with a 7-year-old at 47. Please don't talk to me about health. You know, because I've actually rebelled about anybody telling me what I should do with my body, and I've been told that I'm very unhealthy because I'm not listening. But actually, when the shit hit the fan a couple of years ago, I'm like, shit, man, I'm more aware than most about what is best for me, and I know a jabby jab is not good for my spacesuit. So yeah, and it's all about that, and that's why in the spiritual community there is this division now when it comes to health and diet and around veganism and around this. This is another human agenda. It's nothing to do with health. This is another money-making thing if we can actually stretch our minds, open up to that fact as well. So yeah, it's we're evolving so quickly that we're having to keep up with what's what. And what we spoke about with the AI, it's a very poor photocopy of this vessel. And once we start understanding that, we can override any kind of agenda to bring in AI into ourselves. Because a lot of people are like, they don't know, so they'll be like, oh yeah, give me a chip in my head and I'll be super. No, you'll be controlled, like we've always been. You know, we don't realise it. The deeper we go, we realise how controlled we are and how actually controlled we are by our own selves and our own cells. So let us start communing with every single cell of our bodies and thanking every cell of our bodies every day, and understanding that every cell is your community and every cell has a cousin, which is every star up there. So yeah, blessings for this vessel, so thank you.
If there's one main point that you would say to a new generation of people coming up that are wanting to question what's going on in the world, what would it be?
Oh, it's a big question, huh? Huge question.
I know.
Be with you, be with your body. Be with when your body wants to rest, be with that. And see what it brings up. Does it bring up, oh my God, I'm not doing anything, I'm lazy? Understand that you're going against your own intuition. Our intuition has been wiped from us, been stolen from us. The patriarchy is not a man's world. It's a world where every single human being has had its feminine essence ripped from it, stolen. So we're coming back into that and you know, being with the feminine part of ourselves, which is the vessel, which is the thing that's connected to our ultimate mother, Gaia. And the mind we need, but the mind's just taken over and been infiltrated. The heart, where Christ's furnace is, if you like, because it is a fire there, it's a burning fire, and it's the Christ fire. And we are learning to nurture that, and we nurture that through rest. When we talk about like kids being depressed, they just need some deep rest. That's it. You know, be one with the body, regardless of what you hear. Just be one and follow your intuition, and that takes time, because we've been so lied to about our intuition and what it means, that we're learning slowly learning how to again navigate this spacesuit, and we will make mistakes, and it doesn't matter, because I look at it as we're creating our own movie. And how do you get a perfect movie? Mistakes. Oh, mistake. Let's do it again. Let's get it perfect. Let's get it perfect. So the more mistakes you make and listen and learn by those mistakes, the better this vessel will be, the better your journey will be. And then when everybody does that, we're all together on the same page, and then it's all bliss. But you gotta get your blisters before you get to your bliss.
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
You are amazing at
Imbalance, beat the challenge. Got to grip like an eagle with the talons. My fingertips are filled with power, feel it generate. Hear me when I say I'm back on kill, find the will to wake up, face the day with no need for rosy filter. Kundalini rise to higher chakras, feel me grow. You hear me, let me know. And now I feel the power that's inside. I broke the curse and blind the evil eyes. The sun, the wind, the earth, the moon, the tide. Natural. Meditation, still I found my place. Space. Synchronized with nature's energy. Finally home from outer space. I had to make the vibe right. I raise it in the moonlight. By fireside. I had to make the vibe right. I raise it in the moonlight.
Bulls, sorry. Still cows though, right? Same species. Hello?
Same species.
Hello? Hello?
What's going on, guys?
What are you saying?
I know what he's saying. He's like, yeah, babe.
Hello.
Pivotal point to open up the pineal, down through the crown, from the ground to the pinnacle, to swim with the love and never drown in the cynical, climax physical and come together spiritual. Nature, please show me what to do. Source of all creations, what we're channeling through. Quiet meditation, all I ask for is truth. It's divine innovation, baby. Now we're in tune.
Yeah.
Right, we've got another camera shy off-gridder here. So, why do you choose this lifestyle over the hustle and bustle of a 9 to 5?
I've never been 9 to 5, but the hustle and bustle and the treadmill you're talking about, no, I know there's people that can do it, but just I'm not one of them.
So it's not something that you've never done, is it? Or have you done it before?
Not really. I mean, we've travelled quite a lot, so, and the children, we've been on workaways, but yeah, I can't say that. I think it just brings up too much anxiety for me. They're just being on that trip, you know, and trying to keep going, you know, and fit everything in, and you know, it doesn't feed my soul.
No. Yeah.
No. This feeds my soul.
Well, it's going to, isn't it? And you've got a lovely place here. I'm going to come back tomorrow and I've just noticed your Berkey as well. I've got one of them.
Oh yeah, good old Berkey.
But yeah, I think what I'm trying to go around and ask people is, what would your advice be to a new generation of humans growing up, wanting to reconnect with the earth and
oh, you give me goosebumps when you say that, you know, because it's time. It's time to get everybody on the land, really, even if it's just experience, you know. Who knows what the future is going to hold, and it is really important that we learn, I feel, to learn how to look after our own bodies, you know, and you know the abundance we have in nature. Absolutely, and then for the mental health, like we were talking earlier, you know, just working in it, and there's stuff in the earth, you know what I mean, that helps depression, that helps, you know, anxiety. There's just all these electromagnetic and myceliums, you know, there's B12 in the earth, you know, I mean, you know, this is power, this is where the power is, not in the system, not, you know, that's stripping people bare. And if it's not sort of financially, it's going to be mentally. If it's not mentally, it's going to be emotionally. If it's not that, it's spiritually, you know. You're going to get one of them in that kind of world, aren't you? You know, well, you know, my opinion. And the people, I do notice when I'm there as well, the people that don't probably admit to it, but really, they, you know, if they did admit to it, they know that they're suffering in some way.
Yeah,
you know.
Definitely, of course.
So yeah, no, it's really important to get children as young as you can, but if not, just get them working in it. You know, the teenagers, when they get stuck in, they get stuck in, you know, and it only takes a couple of hours and even an hour, and then you build up on 2, then you build up on 3, and then all the imagination of what we can do, what we can build, what, you know, because teenagers do like a build, you know, they like construction, they like ideas, throwing things. It's keeping that, I guess, for the teenagers, keeping that, what's the words I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Inspiration.
Like an inspiration.
Alive,
so
keep
if
it going.
I think that once they start as well and they get the feeling of autonomy over creation, that's a huge breakaway point from the world out there, because you are taught from a very young age, line up, wear this, don't say that now, that bell's for me, not for you, go to lunch, come back from lunch, learn this, learn that, and we forget who we are or who we are meant to be. And me personally, I wanted an allotment for ages, but I've always been trying to do the right thing for the next generation, since I was them and messed up madly. But I tried to do it within the system, and the last 2 years has completely stopped me from doing that, and even tried to reverse all the hard work that I'd done over the years and turn me into what I would consider a murderer. So I wasn't about to do that. So I've gone, right, okay, I can't operate within Babylon system, whatever you want to call it. I can't operate in that anymore for whatever means. There's no point, because it's a dying.
And it goes against your grain.
Yeah,
and it's really hard to do things that are not sitting nicely. You know, you just get more anger, more resentful, because you're doing something that you don't believe in. You know, that's something that's not making you tick, sitting at a desk or whatever it is. Everybody's different. Some people do like doing it, and that's okay if they, you know. But like you say, you know, children go to school so early, and they are conditioned so early that they literally don't know any different of what the real stuff is, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that's the world we live in. They want us where they want us, don't they, you know?
But instead, we're on organic land, living in yurts and and living a beautiful, colourful life.
It can be done. I'm not saying it's not easy. First thing is finding your tribe, but that's why you keep going. I mean, my children and I have travelled at least 8 years together. You know, my husband stays and works. Not here, he was there. But for him, because we're travellers anyway, he loved that I did that.
He's only another follower.
Don't make it music.
I am free and I'm a warrior. JD. I pick my path and I'm no follower. I am free. Manifested as a warrior. Don't see myself as above or beneath you. It's only another follower. Truthful vibrations, they're gonna reach you. I am free and I'm a warrior. Truth be told, no BS, we speak truth. I paved my path and I'm no follower. I trust the universe and everywhere it leads to. Do you know what common sense is? I don't think they're compass meant us. So these cats been sitting on fences, compensating 1%ers. Speak now or hold that peace. I speak now while I hold my peace. Their suit and ties, just a new side tied round Babylon's throat. I squeeze, unblock the chakras in my throat. I speak, don't box with God, you get to know my reach. Not just the ground where I sow my seeds, inside the mind of every soul I meet. I said from day of one, I know which way I'm going. So many people don't talk the talk and never walk the walk. Show your face, I'm gone. Don't waste my time in a world full of truth, why lie? They're praying to change my mind. They can't step in the shoes I tied. Can't step in the prints I made, or repent for the sins I tamed. Took my boots off and planted my roots, bruv. Earth fire with wind and rain. Told you from scratch, off grid's the path. Skip from the crap and switch off the app. And Guerrilla Republic is worldwide, fam. Can't blow that shit off the map.
How would you envision getting more people to actually build the community? Obviously, I know that we say people will come, but how will they know? How will you make sure the right people know about it?
Through this channel and through the YouTube channel and through the Telegram, through social media. As much as I hate it and the concept of social media in general, it is the only way that people are going to see what we're doing. So if I put out all the trials and tribulations, failures and successes, and just show people how it's done, people will want to be involved. Or even just stating that this was my plan. Had a lot of people kind of message saying, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. Can I get involved? And I'm just like,
not doing it yet.
Yeah, I'm just in the process, I'm learning. So
just you've already got like a lot of people who have already reached out wanting to be involved, but you didn't have the actual...
I mean, I know people that are... I've been saying since the start of like 2020 that people need to take back full autonomy over their food and drink and environment and energy and things like that. So a lot of them people that listen to what I've got to say were in better positions than I was for actually making that happen. So a lot of these people have already done it.
Yeah.
They've already got rid of their rental property and bought a van or got a caravan and made a deal with a farmer, so they're in a field somewhere, and or whatever it is, people are moving forward. So, but again, there's a lot of people like me who hasn't got money to go and buy land straight away, who hasn't got money to even buy a van straight away. Like that caravan was cheap as chips, but I think the more people that are out there doing it, and there's a whole network of people already that will drop by and spread the word to other places, and I suppose you invite people on the same kind of basis these guys have.
Come and volunteer.
And also when we went to Scotland, they have to invite them back. Do you know what I mean? Like, we go there, we trade our time for them letting us stay there, and then if they like us, you got invited back, and that was the trust. Do you know what I mean? Then you go back for 2 weeks or so on and so forth. That's a little bit different to this, because that's a property. Do you know what I mean? This is going to be land and people.
But I mean, you could use the same kind of principle.
You could, yeah.
People coming and volunteering, and then it's kind of like seeing how it works.
Yeah, and I think it's all right to have different spiritual beliefs and all sorts of stuff like that, but there has to be an underlining core belief that you all share, that is to do with the project and the land itself and what the actual manifestation is for, because it's not just she's scratching. It's not just let's grow free food, it's not just let's grow organic, it is
not just let's have somewhere to live for free.
Yeah. It's let's model how we can look after the earth properly and show everybody else how the earth can look after you. And that's the bottom line, really. That might cross paths with some people with beliefs in the climate change stuff, like Extinction Rebellion. That's not really me. Might cross paths with them people, but there's a core belief in both camps that the earth is very important and we should look after it. Do you know what I mean? It's like Brother Is from Guerrilla Republic said to me, because I was talking to him about some of the people that I was working with during 2020, and I was like, yeah, but there's this organisation and I don't really know about them, and I don't really want to commit to them, and should I work with this person because they have committed to them, even though I've got time for this person. And he's like, well, we're all going to our own destinations, and sometimes people join your path for a little while and you help each other push forward, and then when it gets to it, you can do separate things.
But there's been some value in the time that you've spent together and your shared kind of experiences and stuff. And I guess hello, darling. I was going to say as well, and it's not just about saying fuck the system, I want to get out of the system. It's not just about that either. It is about like bettering the way that we're living.
Yeah, and returning
also,
to roots.
And like we've spoken about today, it's not just being completely out of the system. You can work alongside it. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be times when there's going to be overlap, obviously, because we're all sharing the same planet. You know.
Yeah. And we all have to dip in and out here and there. Like, even if it's just to get fuel to drag your caravan, you need money for that. But yeah, I think the more autonomy that people have, and the more we can teach our children how to not just survive but thrive in nature, the more we can model that, the better. And I mean, like, some of the kids that are here, they're great kids. They don't go to mainstream school. They know more than most people's parents do about growing food and looking after land and communities, and they're telling us things about history that we don't know about history. Do you know what I mean? And I think that there's great power in that.
And the confidence that they have as well, like, you know, and confidence to share their ideas and say what they want to do and get the adults to come and do it. Do you know what I mean? And if it's something that's safe and possible, you know, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Rather than just being told what to do all the time.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Although they do participate in stuff, if they're asked to do things the same as the adults do, there's no difference.
Yeah,
you know?
And there's no spoiled bratness about it, and they just participate and do what they've got to do, and I think that's important, because in mainstream education we're taught that we have to dress a certain way, we have to be here at this specific time every time, and you have to act a certain way, and if you aren't good at remembering what you're told and telling it back to someone in a test setting, then you're a failure. And that's just not the case. And for the individual, that's a disservice, but for humanity in general, that's even more of a disservice, because imagination is the key to all creation. And if you take that away, nobody's going to think of anything new, nothing's going to change. And if you continue to do the same thing and expect different results, that makes you insane, as they say. So it's time that we do something different. And I think in this case of off-grid stuff, it's kind of like back to roots. We're not doing anything new. Can you hear the owl? Wow. The owl's speaking to you more. Yeah, so we're kind of, it's back to roots for everybody who's involved, and I've spoke to lots of different people. I've spoke to, there's a guy here who's from a Colombian cacao farm. He grew up on a cacao farm in Colombia, and his wife has always been a traveller, and then I've spoken to people who have left the big smoke and the hustle and bustle of London and have opted for this life, not through financial need, but just through a longing to get away from what they've been told is the only way for their whole lives. And I just like how it works, and I've never been to one of these things and not learn something.
Excuse me, that's my finger. Yeah. You know what I heard one of the kids say earlier was they were on about the horses, and they were like, I wonder if they'd let us ride them, I wonder if they would, and I wonder what we could do with that. It was like, maybe we could offer them offer some service to them, and then in return they could give us, let us ride the horses. And you know, just to hear a kid say that and actually just get it, and like how it really used to work. without the need for flipping money and worrying about money all the time. Everyone's got something of value, haven't they? You know, and just thinking how you can trade things. I thought that was really lovely.
It is, and it's nice to see a new generation being brought up that thinks like that, and I think that gives us hope as a species that regardless of how much madness is going on,
and
there's still a future.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go on.
I was just going to say, I like, although I was talking about sometimes, personally, if I'm in a big group, I can feel a bit like I don't want to be in it a long time, because I like my own space and time to think and stuff, and don't want to have to feel like I have to speak, or if I feel like there's nothing I want to talk about at that particular time. However, it is nice to kind of have them times when you are sharing your meal, for instance, and like prior to eating, all coming together and kind of giving thanks for each other, and that's thanks for each other in the fact that you're all doing your own little bit, you're all participating, and you're all there for each other. But it doesn't mean you have to spend all your time together. Do you know what I mean? Either. But I think it's nice to have them times when they're coming together, like in the morning, in the evening, and then in between, you know, do what suits you.
And again, it's not, nobody's running people like slaves. There's obviously an expectation of participation, but it's not like, work faster, you're not having a break. Like, it's none of that. Like, and that's great in itself. And
I think that obviously comes, doesn't it, because what you're doing is of benefit to everybody, but also yourself. When you know if the work doesn't get done, you're not eating ultimately, or you're not getting the surroundings how they want to be for yourself as well as everybody. So it's not the same as, imagine like if you people who are doing like labour jobs getting paid fuck all for it. Do you know what I mean? And then they're like, oh God, I've got to do it. And at the end, you're just getting paid, I don't know, minimum wage for it. And so you've got no motivation, and that can really, really wear you down, doing that kind of hard work. But if you know that you're doing it you see the benefit straight away.
yeah, and that's what I've kind of really enjoyed personally about growing in my allotment, and why I want to do it on a bigger scale, because I've reaped what I've sown. Like, it's like a different kind of karma. Like, it is the analogy that they use to explain karma.
Reap what you sow, yeah, literally that.
And I want to do it on a bigger scale, because I want to be able to share more. And that's why, because with my allotment, I mean, you know, we're probably sick of marrows and courgettes, and we've had too many, but it's not enough to feed a lot of people. And at the same time, I want to get the youth there to learn how to grow it, because I don't want to encourage people to depend on anybody else. So I want to show them how they can do it themselves. And with the links that I've got with Mystic and everybody in the inner city in Normanton and stuff, like, what we could do is, after we've shown them how to do it, I'm pretty sure that we could pull some strings to get communal gardens within the cities.
Yeah, so more people can have access to it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to all be me facilitating. Like, then we can start bringing more people, because loads of people love growing.
Well, and also you bring the children that will be learning that, they can go on and with their own kind of plans in the future to make it even bigger and bigger, and just grow the whole thing. And the fact of, like, here where everything, the food that they grow and harvest, they'll sell some, but they'll match what they sell by giving it away as well. So they'll give away as much as they sell. obviously you have to make some money, because otherwise you can't survive. You need to be able to maintain the land, you know, and everything. But it's not all about, it's the drive isn't to make the money, you know. You're giving away, you're sharing.
Yeah, it's sharing, it's teaching people how to generate abundance. And I think what the ultimate goal will be is that we have a farm shop, we have our own products that are made from stuff that's grown on the land that's specific to us, like a little niche in the market. And whatever we make, we can also give away to the community, and we can also teach the community how to mimic what we've done. And thanks to Che for giving us the blueprint to do that. We also want to run wellness retreats and kind of a place of refuge for people to heal from the traumas of the big bad world in your own way, and in a different way to what society might encourage you to do. And there are a lot of people here who have come leaps and bounds in their lives because the environment and the community are respectful and show love to each other. And I think that's something that most communities are lacking. This one seems to have it.
A lot of communities, in terms of like out in mainstream society, because you're not in a community, are you?
You're in a rat race.
Well, you're not in contact with people very much, really, in any kind of meaningful way, apart from perhaps when you're at work. And then when you're at work, you're already trodden down, aren't you? And you're worrying about your money and stuff. And so.
But if you spoke to either like my parents or your mum or whatever, back in the day, even inner city communities used to be like that.
I know, so it's mad, isn't it, like how it's not that long. Like things are getting worse in that respect. We're moving further and further away from community in a really relatively short period of time.
Yeah, and this is again the polarity, because society is being split now, and you're either going to go fully to that end or fully to that end, and it's trying to balance and find a middle ground that's safe. But at the minute, people are running that way. We're running that way to balance out the madness that's coming over there. So
But I guess the hope is that will help in the future. It is keeping that balance. So hopefully in the future we'll come back to some kind of
it definitely will,
middle
because
ground. That's the
through the age we've gone into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of knowledge and mass awakening throughout the universe, and we've just gone past the lowest point, and we're just on the cusp of going up. That's why everything seems to be speeding up.
And how often? So when you say age of Aquarius, like how long does that last?
I'm not entirely sure, but it's longer than our lifetimes in this lifetime.
So it's like decades.
But we can participate in laying the foundations
for the future. And what else is the reason for being apart from doing that, I guess, you know.
Thanks for watching, guys and girls. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out officialtruthbetold.com. You can buy my latest album, The Journey Within, digitally for $9.99, or you can purchase it on memory stick. Also, check out the Truth Be Told clothing range. If freedom has a brand, this is it. We have different designs in t-shirts, hoodies and tracksuits, as well as handmade jewellery made by myself. If nothing on the website takes your fancy, but you still want to support us, you can donate to buymeacoffee.com/official TBT. Apart from a couple of hours youth work a week, this is how I make my money, which affords us to live and travel around documenting the journey to find the right place and the knowledge to go completely off the grid and have full autonomy over our lives. I'm documenting this to inspire others to do the same. In a world full of poverty and greed, we have decided we don't want to partake, gain from it or contribute to it in any way. If everyone thought the same, this financial global takeover would fail tomorrow. We understand this as a daunting thought, so we want to show you how it can be done. I am free, you are free, we are free. Truth be told, Guerrilla off grid. Peace and love.